I have to think about. I don't remember my name. I think it's Frank.
You think it's Frank.
So that's
you
why
agree?
Last time we saw you, we called you Frank.
You remember me?
Yeah.
So
I remember you. You didn't have a beard though.
No, I was too young.
Hello and welcome to the Dual Power Podcast.
Your speed skating podcast, where we talk about everything speed skating related, inline and long track.
The last 15 years of speed skating have brought us lifelong lessons, memories and friendships, as well as a trip to the Olympics and lives as full-time professional athletes.
In this podcast, we talk with friends and fellow speed skaters.
We bring you behind-the-scene portraits, as well as race reports, training philosophy, inside stories from the skating world, and much more.
This podcast is brought to you by the Dual Power Brothers. I'm Philip Dusmit.
And I'm Stephen Dusmit.
Hope you enjoy listening.
So, welcome to the podcast. I'm currently sitting here with Belgium national coach Frank Fiers and former inline speed skater yourself. And I'm also sitting here with Pascal Briand, so French former inline speed skater and also a current professional coach in the same. You're in the same position right now, and you were in the same position back in the day. So. Welcome to both of you, and thank you very much for sitting down and taking your time to just talking with me. So I should say that we're currently sitting in the fastest track in the world here in Arena Geisingen in Germany, and it's Monday, and we had this last weekend the Arena Geisingen International European Cup race. So this is the day after the storm is over. There was a lot of races, and I have the two of you here, and I think today we would like to talk a little bit about your perspective on coaching and how you go around training skaters, like physically, technically, or tactically, or all these things as well. And also, maybe we can, before we start talking that, maybe we should go a little bit back in time and talk about the good old days. Because how old are both of you? How old are you, Frank?
I'm 48 years. And you, Pascal?
And I'm 42 years old.
And you're 42. So we had, Frank and I had a little chat before, and we didn't know how old you were, Pascal. So we're not going to say what we guessed, but you have some different. You were from different times for sure. But you both skated back in the days on quads before it was inline skating. And did you race against each other back in the days?
Yeah, we race quite much against each other, like on quads. Also on 5x 80 millimeters, I would say. Maybe also on 5x 84 millimeters, and also on 4x 100, I guess.
Yeah.
So we had the chance to skate on very different kind of skate, like going from quad skate to 5 wheels to 4 wheels. So it was quite an experience, I think. And from this process, I would say that our generations, we learn a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you see the racing changing through the years you skated against Pascal, Frank?
It's like totally different in the way we take now the corners. If you compare it on quad skating, was totally different ball game. So it's a totally different sport, but the tactic just is still the same as 25 or maybe 50 years ago.
Okay, so back in the days, who was the best of you, Frank?
Oh, for sure, Pascal, no doubt.
Yeah, we had. I was maybe winning more race, but it was really cool skater on marathon. I think he was the Belgium guy. Yeah. I think in the Netherlands they were racing a lot of marathons and criteriums, and Frank was really good in it. And also that's why he got he got something that I never get, like the 1 hour record on skates. It's something I wish I could have done, but I never did it. I think a lot about it.
There's a time for a comeback, maybe.
Yeah, no way. Like not with the distance he made. Even with the bigger wheels, I couldn't beat it today. So.
Okay, but let's say maybe someone is gonna start picking up some attempts at the 1 hour world record again. I don't know. I hope so. We'll see. I heard some people talk about
that would be great. I heard some people who want to do it also. So it's something that is part of the history of the sport. And it's famous in cycling, and it's great also in skating. Tristan Loy got it for a while. Yeah. Then Frank stole it from Tristan.
Yeah. And I'm really good friends with both the two people you just mentioned, and I hope we're gonna bring it back. So like in cycling, it was also part of the history, and then Jens Vogt, the German cyclist, he brought it back, did the record, and then after that, now everybody's who's got a chance and a shot for it, they're going for it. And maybe when you are listening to this podcast in the autumn, maybe stuff has happened already. I don't know.
Yeah, tomorrow there is in Mexico a Belgian cyclist who will try to break the record of Wiggins.
Yeah.
So there is an attempt tomorrow afternoon European time. It's in Mexico.
Exciting. Yeah. Okay, so like you said, Frank, you were maybe more a little bit of a sub-top skater, and obviously Pascal Briand, you have 8 world champion titles, and you, Frank, you also took a European title back in '94.
Yes, in Pamplona, 25 years ago.
Yeah. Do you know how old I was in ¡94?
No.
I was born in '94.
Okay. oh my God.
Yeah. Sorry for that. You're definitely skating back then, but I think also it was a different background. You also mentioned, Pascal, because which kind of races did you grow up with, Frank?
Well, we grew up for sure on skating on the road, because I started skating in 1977, so there were few tracks around. Yeah. So that's why it's obviously I developed more as a road skater than as a track skater. Because we back those days in the club, we were skating in the school at the playground. We made 100 or 125 meter circuit, and for other trainings we went to the road. So now I think if you compare it, the skaters have lots of more facilities, lots of more tracks all over Europe. So that's a very big change, of course. But it's 77. It's
77, yeah. So
it's almost a half a century ago.
What year did you start, Pascal? Because
I started skating in 83.
83.
83. I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And actually, 94. I think that was my first European Championship senior.
Yeah. Hey. And so you were in the race together, maybe? Was there?
I'm not sure we did the same distance, but this championship was very special.
Yeah.
Because half of the race was on quad, half of the race was on inline.
No, really?
It was called a transition year. And so we had to train on both. And I remember I was training a little more on the inline, because I know we would switch to inline, so I was already focusing on doing more inline.
Yeah.
And I remember that at the championship, the coach put me only on quad skate race.
Yeah?
So I had both skates in my bag, but I was ready to win on inline, actually. I think I had the level to be European champion this year.
Yeah.
And they put me only on a quad race. So
I didn't know that was a thing.
That was amazing.
I think that must have been like the most chaotic races. No?
But it was just crazy. You went to a championship and you had 2 pair of skates in your bag. You had the quad skates and the inline skates. And then before the tournament started, the coaches, they had to say, okay, take on your quad skates or take on your inline skates. Today we're going to skate on inlines. Today we're going to skate on quads. But you wanted to test both of them, because you need to test the quad wheels, you needed to test the inline wheels, you needed to test the corners, how you would take the corners on inline, how on quads, because Pamplona was a hard, difficult parabolic track. So it was if you think about it.
Because watching the skating back in the days, it seemed like most of the championships were held on concrete parabolic tracks, and when you see the quad style of skating, it's like you skate up in the banking, and it's like you hammer, like a lot of crossing, and you can see the speed going up and down. But wasn't it obvious at this time, Pascal? Wasn't it obvious that the inline skates were faster than the quads in training?
We cannot say it's obvious, because still we didn't add the technique at the beginning.
Yeah.
The wheels were not so good yet. Like it was like kind of a weak equipment still. Like the shoes was terrible. We had pain. We were afraid to lose wheels almost still. And we didn't add the technique on inline, and we had good technique on quads.
Okay.
And like in Pamplona, the track, it's a parabolic, super slippery track.
Yeah.
So we didn't really go faster on inline actually.
No, okay.
So many people, including me in those years, were still thinking, maybe we will never go faster on inline on track compared to quad, which is very funny to think about
which
this
is
now.
Funny to say in 2019 now when we're on Arena Geisingen and people are going on the hardest wheels they can and they roll really fast, and we're in 110 now, and the marathons even are faster on 125s. But so at the time it was more like inline did roll faster, but when you have to compete on the slippery tracks, a lot of people felt more comfortable with their technique, with the grip on the quad wheels, and the wheels were better, yes?
Yeah, that's like Pascal said it perfectly. We were all doubting, like, oh, come on, I can beat a guy on inlines because I can skate a perfect corner on my quads because the tracks were too slippery.
And he's going to slide out.
If you skate now on a coated track on quads, you have zero chance. So that it was very, I experienced it as a very stressful period because you need to train, but what do you have to do? Because it was not, at that time, 93 was even harder, and 92, and so because then there were actually no races. They were telling us we're going to switch to inline, but it was really stressful. So where should I invest my time? Should I train on quads or should I train on inline?
Yeah, and I think today we have so many rules for the skates. It's the length of the frame, it's the size of the wheels. Like you wouldn't be allowed to stand on the start line today in quads, I think. But,
I'm not sure it would.
I don't know actually. I think if one of you two, if you make a start in let's say Grosguero or something,
Pascal should try it in Grosguero. He should go to the start line on his quads on the 500 meter.
I will buy you a coffee if you do that.
Yeah, but there is no chance.
there is a retro race in Grosguero sometimes, I think. Yeah.
Well, there was one in Trappist 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, okay.
I didn't even won. Like there was much stronger guy than me in quad.
You were.
Yeah, and still I did some quad because I was playing roller derby. So I was used to my quad.
And you didn't win.
No. I got dropped almost. Yeah.
Okay, How
it
weird.
was super frustrating. I think I was faster.
I can understand,
But some guys who spent all their career on quads, they came and they beat me easy, which was nice.
Okay, so how was it going back with the technique, the quads? You did derby, roller derby.
Yeah, but it's about how many times you change. It's a little bit like going from ice to inline. Like if you just do 6 months of quad and no inline, it's hard to change. But if you change every day, at the end, you don't notice the difference. The last 3 years, I was still skating a bit on inline for fun, and I was doing DRB for fun also. Yeah. And so I was switching almost 3-4 times a week. Yeah. And it got easy. I never think at the end, like it's like going on the bike. You don't think, oh, I'm on my racing bike, and then you're on my mountain bike. You still know how to bike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so like you both said that the switching from the quads to the inline was stressful and it was hard, and I think you, Pascal, mentioned a lot with the technique. It was very different, and so let's go into that with the technique. How was it different, and how did the training change when it all changed to inline in the late 90s then?
Yeah. For me, on quad, at the end of the quad, we were kind of mastering the technique. We were skating good, and so we could focus more on the physical training and tactics and stuff. Yeah. And then when the inline arrived, we couldn't really focus on the physics. Many coaches were doing it, but basically in France we decided that we need to learn to skate good again. So we've really focused on the technique. Yeah. So
it's time better spent using focus on the technique at that time, because you need to learn to skate fast. Yeah. And at the end of the day, when we race, we have to skate fast, because I know a lot of strong skaters who are not the most technical or fast skaters or something. But I think because the second half of this, now we talked about the good old days and how you skated, but you're both coaches today. Like, how do you go around training the skaters with the technique aspects? Frank, if you can answer first, how do you focus on that?
Of course, I believe that ice skating is very good for inline.
To learn the body control or so.
Yeah, to learn to push really sidewards, because every detail, every little mistake you make on ice, it's. you pay cash on inline. It's not so, but beside that, if you don't have ice, of course, it's normal. I think Pascal has really beautiful videos where he the basics, where he said, okay, to keep your skates parallel, to do the circle drills, things like that, really basic. And I think I always say, for example, people who play tennis, every day they have to focus on their forehand.